Kraken Express, the developers of Windrose, have already made one major improvement to boarding since Alpha. They removed the planks that spanned between ships. Those planks used to cause crews to bottleneck, and oftentimes resulted in the player getting either stuck alone on the enemy ship or stuck behind the bottleneck and unable to pass across. While removing the planks and having crews swing over was a great step, there is still work to be done in regards to boarding, in my opinion. And that opinion was formed based around the boarding experiences I'm about to show you, where I got into a bit of a tight spot over and over and over again. So, I'm still struggling a little bit with the aim situation. That's exactly the problem I was having before. Oh! Did you just see that? One of my crew members just fell overboard. That's terrible. Okay. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna get blocked. Okay. And trying not to get blocked again. Man, that guy came right for me. He's also stuck on the cannons, so there is quite a bit of movement difficulty on this particular ship as well. Uh-oh. See, look, no, no, no! Okay, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You get so stuck between... I'm so glad I got this on camera, because you get so stuck between all of the different crew members that there's like nothing you can do, really. Alright. Let's try this. Alright. Oh no, I'm doing exactly what I did before and getting stuck in the cannons. Alright, well there's a sergeant down. Okay. Okay, so... Ooh! Shoot! This is exactly what I did before, and I don't like it. There isn't really much else, many other places to go though. Is there already another one? I guess so. Alright. Ooh, that's way too many. Shoot. Oh, I don't like this at all. This is not good. This is really not good. Okay. That particular ship model has cannons in the front of the ship, so I quickly learned that it was futile to try and fight there, considering how easy it was to get staggered and locked in by the enemy crew. I made one last attempt at the ship and employed two methods that I didn't really consider to go along with the whole idea of boarding, but they felt necessary just to try and get the job done. Okay, for this attempt, what I'm going to do, I have two options here to try and get around the awkward kind of way things are going. So the two things I'm going to do is, the one that's more friendly to immersion is I am going to hop back over onto my ship whenever I need to. I'm just going to jump back over. That's number one. Number two is going to be to just abandon ship completely and jump into the water. I don't like that option, but I might have to do it. Because I'm not going to lose a boarding minigame because of this cramping. So I'm just going to hop back over and see how things are going. I feel like up here is just a huge... Look at them. There's a whole bunch of people. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. All right, I'm gonna go back over here. Oh, I'm already stuck on a cannon. All right. All right. How are we doing? 3 out of 9. Okay. That's 6 out of 9. Okay, I'm just gonna... Oop! Stuck. Okay, this is where issues started happening before. Okay, finally. So we got medicine and 110 for that. But yeah, that was rough for me. It felt not the best of a user experience. I know they'll make changes to it. The Kraken Express, they are extremely perceptive, and I forgot I'm being chased by other ships, so I'm just gonna get out of here. That particular model of ship is what hung me up for a few tries because its design is different to some of the other basic ships that you might board around level 5 and below. This particular ship has a very narrow deck and spawn points that are placed near bottlenecks anyway, which just compounds the situation. So the stairs that I was hanging around were right beside the cannons, and I would count the cannons as another possible bottleneck because of how easy it is not only for me to get caught up in it, but also my crew and the enemy's crew. There was a lot of body blocking, staggering, and just general chaos going on there. Now, I'm definitely not a game developer, but I want to try and offer some solutions, some things that might alleviate some of the chaos of boarding as it is in its current stage. I think it's way too easy to offer criticisms without also offering solutions, so this is going to be my attempt at offering a solution or two. Windrose's combat is very smooth for me on land because there's plenty of space to actually do everything the combat allows you to do. Once you take that combat into the closer quarters of the narrow deck of a ship, it becomes much harder to dodge and even conduct full swings because the combat in Windrose does take up quite a bit of the game world. You'll notice when you left click and swing, your character steps forward quite a big step. Same goes for enemies. Fights take up a lot of space, and what we don't have on these ships is a lot of space. So my first solution would be, since the combat isn't necessarily made to be done on the confines of a ship, I would change it slightly. I would remove the ability for enemies to stagger the player, because I noticed that's where I was getting caught up and sent back to shore the most. I would get staggered by 3 or more NPCs and end up not being able to defend myself because my poise was broken and I was slapped up against the side of the ship. I know there will be those who just say get good or play better, but when you feel like you're fighting the layout of the environment rather than actually partaking in the combat against enemies, I think other solutions beyond get good should be looked into. My second and final solution deals with NPC density, because beyond getting staggered and thrown against the wall, that was my second biggest problem. There are too many of them compared to the amount of playable space on each ship. So in order to alleviate the chaos a little bit, I would change the layouts of ships such as the one that I struggled on, and also change where the NPCs spawn. And once they do spawn, I'm not sure how hard it would be to initiate a check for their density, but I thought it would be cool if they could swing over to your ship and kind of idle there until their big time in the spotlight comes and they can swing back over and actually get into the fight. There just needs to be something done to allow the player to navigate the ship more freely, to have that space to actually use Windrose's great combat, and B, also figure out how to artificially reduce the NPC enemy count until it is time for the player to actually have to take on those enemies rather than spawning them endlessly, because they do seem to spawn endlessly until you have hit that boarding battle counter that says that you have won the minigame. I think Windrose's naval aspect will be its strongest one, but at this stage in early access, I also feel like it is the aspect that could use the most improvement, particularly the boarding. So I showed you a ship that was particularly precarious to board, and also offered two solutions that I think might help alleviate the chaos that does come along with boarding. What I want to know now is what your experience has been with boarding. I haven't reached those higher level ships yet, so I'm not sure how they work. I am taking my time and enjoying the early game Windrose experience, but I'm imagining much the same will happen as I climb up through the ranks. So if you are up in those ranks, I would like to hear how your boarding experience has been going. That is it for me today, guys. As always, I hope you are enjoying your games. Be sure to check out my Discord. I also do have X if you are over on that platform. The Discord is really chill. We just basically talk about Windrose all day. So as I said, that is it for me today. I hope you all are enjoying your games, and I will see you all in the next video.